second series for today. We have 4 Pirates and Quantum facing off versus each other. So I was looking up at the stats, and so far it's a very similar story which has unfolded between these two. So 4 Pirates, it's generally a really tough Group A, and we have mostly seen action coming from it. So it's pretty much locked in. This is going to be the second to last matches we're going to be seeing here. 4 Pirates are looking at the clear, while Quantum are pretty much fighting for their lives. Well, this is going to be, I think, both games they need to face off against. Yeah, it's gonna be one game that they're having right now versus 4 Pirates. Another one is gonna be versus Kalmichara. So both contenders are really difficult for this team. So they got to double down with some good picks here. Already being really aware of the small hero pool that 4 Pirates have demonstrated so far in the season. They're gonna take away the Bad Rider. They're so far gonna be ignoring the Axe, which is one of the wombo combos that they're gonna be opting in for, but possibly because of the takeaway from the Shadow Shaman, they're not alluding to go into that direction, even though the offlane position still could be viable if they're putting in this Pango mid and this Void Spirit to be going in as carry, but Void Spirit carry, it feels kind of iffy. I would rather have him be in the frontline focus for the mid lane and get all of that solo experience, get all of those solo gains, so he can get in close and personal behind the supports at the first given opportunity. Bad Rider is going to be insanely sneaky. Warlock, always the center of attention, because it's always about that big setup that you need to work with. So far, two insane powerhouses on the side of Quantum, but it feels like the same rabbit hole that Zero Tenacity were going in for during the previous game. Very hard and very costly lockdowns to have. Not enough so far for these executions to commit in between. So there's not going to be a Dawnbreaker, which it would have been an overextensive option here. Underlord might be interesting. We haven't really seen much about him. Darkseer, they could consider it, and also it's a hero that is being played out by 4 Pirates, so they can take it away as well. Centaur, it just got taken out by 4 Pirates, but it was somewhat of a viable option. But still, the offlaner from Quantum will need to do a lot here, because 4 Pirates, on the other hand, as I said, they do have the Void Spirit who can sneak in, get behind the supports, and be super annoying. They do have the Naga as well, and the Wind Ranger. So Wind Ranger with the Shard Gale Force pulling people back. Naga, we have seen what the lady can do. Get in on that hard reset button, sing everywhere, throw in the nets, get in a lot of control. Void Spirit and the Pango can opt in for a Rod of Ados or a Gleipnir option if they're feeling lucky to it. It's a little bit of an unconventional item, but if they want to make it work and add that additional layer, it could happen. Quantum, they're just gonna be doubling down on their overall presence and their overall annoyance. Omni Knight is gonna be picked in as last, seeming like it's gonna be the offlane pick as it seems. It's a hero that has recently bounced back into the meta, and it's a very fun surprise. He has been played off as a carry in some instances. I do believe we've seen him in Wallachia being picked up. So far, this is gonna be it's gonna be the second time it's being picked up in the European Pro League. First time it was being picked up, not really sure by whom, but it has unfortunately led to a loss. So far, luck is not by this hero. As great as he can be, I'm not seeing this draft getting in all together. 4 Pirates, they're gonna get Natty onto the sniper as well, so that's some early damage. Otakar is gonna be taking the Void, so a little bit of an awkward switcheroo, but I could see it work. You're adding in a lot of lane pressure, you're having in a lot of control, and a free farmer at the mid lane. So it feels difficult for Quantum. Already, track record is not on point. They're gonna be having a lot of heavy lifting to do. I do see the commendable notion that they can work out with Bat Rider and the Sven, so pretty much bring in and drag in the kills so they can work with that. Zenitsa is gonna be taking the Omni Knight as an offlaner. The Shadow Fiend, I'm not buying into. I don't know. I mean, there's so much burst, there's so much glory and fireworks around this draft, but the lack of lockdowns is kind of feeling worrisome. You're highly dependable onto the root, onto the lasso. You are a little bit too. Well, you do have the Stormhammer at the very least, but Void Spirit is annoying to take down, but the Pango is annoying to take as well. Naga is elusive as hell, and she can pretty much reset you at the best of her ability, and you know, even your BKB is gonna be wasted down. So far, Sven hasn't been having a good day, and not willing to say it yet another time to throw in like a jinx, but I'm not seeing this in this quantum draft. We might be in for a surprise, as always. Verdansk have, for Verdansk, my bad. 4 Pirates have moved away from the same heroes that we have been seeing so far from them within the season. So, I mean, obviously they've been forced out to go into a completely different direction. I was thinking that they were gonna get something like a Rubik of that sort, just to throw back the strong lasso back at him, and of course to add an extra layer for protection. Um,
Prepare for battle.
they are very, very familiar with, which is always scary. You can be overly confident, for sure, but at the same time, you know how to control the game really easily. The one thing that you need to predominantly worry about is protecting the sniper. If they're able to get the blink away long catch lasso, it's gonna be really difficult to keep up with the rest. But at the same time, there's the control, which is on a pretty decent level. But hopefully we're gonna be getting Nettie back. And yeah, at the same time, sniper mid. He is gonna be going, so let me just do a quick check because these are some new players coming in on Quantum. So yeah, we have Lucas and Zenitsa, which I do believe happened there previously. CTC, so it's gonna be an SF versus a sniper mid. It's always been a very. I mean, for some people it's easy to call it, but in practice, especially in EPL, it's kind of difficult to call it which one is better. I do favor the sniper a little bit more just because he can be annoying, but the 3 built-in spells and 1 swift rotation coming in, it could turn things for SF really, really easily. But we shall see. I'm rooting mainly for the sniper. He can build the range really fast and really easy. Really good in terms of the farming. I mean, the projectile speed is saving his butt every single time. He can build damage fast enough. He can be super annoying. Him breaking out of the lane is not going to be super crucial for the rest of the team. I mean, you can use the extra damage, but it's down to the rest of the lanes to keep things in check, and maybe them coming in for mid lane. Not until the sniper gets either a Hurricane Pike or maybe if he goes in for an early Silver Edge. We shall see. The options are endless. We're still finding some sort of a meta into this patch because there's these heroes that are popping up. There's the Shaman, there's the Kanka being absolutely annoying, and of course the Bat Raider is popping it back up, but we're still not there into the boring part of Dota, and there's been 3 iterations so far of the patch. We have reached C patch in quite a short period of time, I feel like. Or maybe time does fly faster once you get older. Nevertheless, Ariel has spotted out 2. Actually, it's gonna be Mr. Morale and Ariel spotting out Lucas here.
The battle begins.
And they will just contest, or at least try to. Oop. Close but no cigar. Lucas will take the 3rd bounty rune for his team. The right idea was there from the Pango, but he needed to land to take that bounty rune. Sven was on the ground the entire time, so doesn't really care. It might have been a contest here since C2C got a little bit of the heavy hitting. Natty went in for the Gilly Sweet facet. Not really sure if there's been major changes onto Sniper in the past patch, but I do recall the Shrapnel facet being picked up a little bit more often. Still, it's a good addition because there's a lot of threat that Quantum can bring in for a Sniper, so evading that Fog of War could make things a little bit more manageable as the game keeps on going. But of course, as long as the team can make space for the Sniper, it's gonna be a lot better for him. But yeah, Scattershot is still in the game. But Natty did opt in, as I said, for the Gilly. Not sure if I'm saying it out correctly because there's a weird age there. Either way, bottom lane, but inside and Razor Blade, we are having the Omni Knight and the Bad Rider combination. It feels like a dangerous and annoying combo, but Verdansk and Otaker are at the top of things. The Omni Knight is going to be having a difficult time staying within melee range, as Verdansk will be actively upon him. Just throwing himself out there, throwing in the illusion with the additional splash damage. Razor Blade, he is always going to be annoying with the sticky napalm charges, and of course if he catches onto somebody with the flame break. The Naga illusions definitely will be having a difficult time, but right now the harassment coming in bottom side is on point. So Otaker is definitely happy to be getting a lot of that free farm. Maybe you're not going to be getting that early execution, but they are keeping Quantum at bay. And of course you do have the Void with some extra AoE damage coming in off his own. With the Resonant Pulse, you can land in some extra blast hits, but it's also punishing and pushing away the Omni. Top side. Lucas, even though Mr. Morale is locked into the Fatal Bonds, he doesn't care, he's just keeping up the harassment actively. Bottom side, dead inside is looking severely low. But still 3 minutes in, we have not seen the first blood being landed. A little bit of a Lotus claim. 4Pirates will take the first Lotuses away from the fountain. And they are willing to keep up the pressure even further. Lucas is having a little bit of a difficult time staying present with the lane. Last hit-wise, not that horrifying. But still, he is taking heavy hits every single time, so he's gotta be wary as resources might be getting scarce. That inside could be forced in to rotate early on because he's definitely of huge aid with the purification. The one thing that I really still up to this day like about this hero is he has the double pure damage wielding ability, so eventually he can grow to be super strong. I don't know, but it felt like he was a little bit stronger when he still had the Degen aura available. It's an innate ability at this point, at the very least. I mean, I hate the fact that a lot of passives got turned into innate ability. They're still there, but they're not fully there. But it's not the same. I think it was a little bit stronger back in the day. Razor Blade, though, he is in danger. Verdansk keeping up the cheats, but he does not have a net or anything else available. He is in close range. One strike, will he get the other bounty rune? Will be claimed. But Verdansk will need to give up the chase. Yeah, I still stand by the notion that he was a little bit stronger. He's still annoying and pretty deadly with the purification, but since it's been a while since we've seen a proper offlane, you know, Omni Knight, I'm putting my doubts into this. But yeah, 5 minutes in, still no kill for Verdansk, going in for the deep dive. Hello! Excuse me, sir? Okay, that was completely greedy and unnecessary by 4Pirates. I mean, were you really that keen on getting that courier? I mean, that already delivered the items, you're not prolonging anything, just let it go. Well, an awkward oversight. Still, 4Quantum are gonna try to do something mid lane here. However, Ariel is gonna be spotted out by the Observer Ward. CTC attempting to hide out. The clarity will be cancelled, but Ariel is in a deadlock. Razor Blade, Krishnik, they are gonna find him and swiftly execute the Wind Ranger with absolutely zero problems.
Adios, payasos.
I mean, from our point of view, it was an obvious oversight since he literally walked under the ward. But thinking that he got the better out of the situation, yep, just got completely surrounded. Meanwhile, CDC, he is gonna get some very nicely stacked medium crepes for him to go about his day. Meanwhile, topside, Lucas is definitely out of danger at this point, especially with the recent Wind Ranger takedown, so not much to worry about. They can keep up the pressure with Krzyznik. Krinjik. I guess he's not very cringe, but a little bit cringe. If I'm saying it out wrong, of course, chat, feel free to correct me here. It's always a little difficult to call out names that you haven't heard before, so there's always a struggle between is it phonetic, is it not? Because after all, we're in Europe, we have so many languages, and no two words sound the same. Even though they might have the same meaning, even though they might be seemingly in the same way, they might be completely differently spelled out. So, good luck. But yeah, so far 7 minutes in. First Wisdom Runes have spawned, both sides have obtained one for their own. Still, we're at 2-0 kickoff for Quantum, as both kills were really awkward oversights coming in for 4Pirates. They haven't really sparked in any aggression as a follow-up after those, so it was completely unjustified. But maybe they will finally try to make a move. Double smoke going up top. It's Ariel and Mr. Morale. But they're not gonna find the SF here. SF, meanwhile, has been focused bottom side. While him and Razorblade are trying to protect the rest of the stacks here at the dire triangle. But Otaker, Perdamchik, Mr. Morale, and Ariel are closing in. They will commit for the jump. Otaker, power shot, will take him down. Finally, a return kill. A little bit of a way too early of an exposure there, but 4Pirates obtained a lot of big information here. I mean, look at those beautiful stacks there. They will be forced out to contest them as soon as possible. What about that ward there? Hello! That ward should be in range. Or they're just pretending it's not there. It's pretty fucking obvious that that sentry is in range. Okay. Thank you. My OCD is calm right now. Actually, it is an observer ward. Anyhow, backup will arrive. The ancient stacks will be claimed. As in the backlines, the Bat Rider will be forced to watch, as all of his great effort will be brought to naught, and Natty will claim most of it. And of course, to make things even worse, you always leave that creep at less than 10 HP just to block the camp, just to make your life a living hell. And you're gonna be walking about not noticing it. It's like, oh shit, that's super bad. Anyhow, our friend CDC went in to check in on the damage just to walk into a bait. Mr. Morale will pop the first roll of thunder, jumps in, right into the Requiem. Shadow Ward is popping, but so is the urn. We believe that he will stay alive. Our shot will connect. Still, it's not gonna be enough. Mr. Morale is still stuck into the fray. Natty shooting in from the side, TP out, and he will be gone out of the picture. Golems won't be committed, as they're still not available. Meanwhile, during all of these conundrums, the Sven has been AFK farming, which is absolutely great for him. Meanwhile, Razorblade will eventually be caught up here by Natty. And this sniper is feeling like a menace already, trying to keep up the chase onto the Warlock and onto the Omni Knight. And it's kind of scary, it's ballsy, but he can do it. I mean, this guy, he almost got denied there. Got the second kill for his team, and got the first tower off the game. 10.5 minutes in. The one thing that is feeling kind of shaky coming in for 4Pirates is their front line, but given the fact that Quantum also don't have much to work with, I mean, if the Omni Knight is taken down, it's gonna be far more difficult to keep up with this team. Not only because skill-wise, he's bringing in a lot of healing. Ideally, he would be pumping in a little bit more to aid the team as a collective. Not sure if going aggressive Omni would be the play here, because Sven is really susceptible to being taken down. The Shadow Fiend, you have a lot of things to build up onto him before you can get the BKB going about. So for now, it's still the Yasha which is in the making. It's not looking that beautiful. I mean, he hasn't died a single time, but he's at 1-0-0 with not a lot of farm over the sniper.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Even though the net worth does allude to the Void Spirit being a mid laner and the sniper being, you know, the carry, it's been the other way around. The Void has been the carry in this situation, and sniper has pretty much gone along with a lot of free farm. As kudos for Quantum, but 4Pirates were a little bit too nosy early on in the game. And that accounts for at least one big item. I mean, the Dragon Lance has been completed for quite a while. You could go in for the Maelstrom soon enough because of this. Mithril, yeah, he actually got it, so 1,600 gold. Easy peasy. Are they gonna look in to commit for another strike, or 4Pirates are just gonna keep up with the current pace that they have and just keep pushing down bottom? It seems like that's gonna be the scenario. However, Quantum are looking to put a halt to it. Two-man smoke up, walking in towards the triangle. Mr. Morale would be the first one that they encounter, unless the Naga illusion catches up first. Still, the idea was there, but the commitment was not present at all.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
It feels kind of bad that they're already doubting their capability to run over 4Pirates in this given moment. Look at the Sven. I mean, we have seen that this is the third game off today that we're seeing a Sven. AFK farming does not seem to go a long way. You need to keep him engaged, you need to keep him part of the team. I mean, currently Quantum are holding on, but they're losing these early objectives, so Sven won't be able to farm to the best of his ability, and he will be forced to fight, or the fight will be brought onto him, in which case he's going to be the one dying first every single time. And with that collateral, he's going to start slacking, and things going to be going in worse. Now it's time for the big item. It's time for him to get the Blink Dagger, now that the Mask of Madness and the Executor are available. But however, 4Pirates, they are willing to invade. Lasso jump onto Mr. Morale, but it's going to be brought to naught as the Song of the Siren goes off and the effort from Quantum will be depleted. Mr. Morale looking like he could be in danger, but if things get spicy, there's still the Rolling Thunder to use up. Then inside, still keeping up with the commitment. Ariel on the side. Benjik will pop the Fatal Bonds, but even if there were more targets, with the recent debuff, with Warlock not being able to scout out targets through Fog of War, the Fatal Bonds are kind of feeling useless, and unless you see a Naga in plain sight with 10,000 illusions, then it's going to be worthwhile and things are going to be blasted into shenanigans, but throwing the Fatal Bonds early on with absolutely no use is just going to be a waste. Talking from a Warlock professional here. But yeah, 15 minutes in. It's been pretty balanced out with 1k jumping in left and right and 2/2 score favoring neither side. But that could be subject to change as Otacrit commits for a jump onto Lucas. TPs are rolling in. Benjik, he has popped the Grimoire, hence level 8 onto the Warlock. They have everything that they have needed. Quantum, they will have a counter-strike onto this. Still, a nice reinitiation from Mr. Morel, but brought to naught just to die in the Requiem. Are the rest of the team gonna commit Ariel? They know one spell is out of the way. They still have the Golem available, but Otacrit is gonna be avoiding it successfully. The Danchik in danger. Song is not available for another 50 seconds. The Naga will need to be careful. Otacrit reinitiates. Pulls Lucas back. He still has the God Strength available. He is heavy on the hitting. Lucas will jump back, but nice Shackle will take them both. Otacrit heavy with the hitting, but there's the focus fire as well. Natty They will take two. Otacre still keeping up the pressure. They will find Razor Blade and turn this situation around. Actually, he's just gonna find another one. Krinjik, he will fall as well. Vital range, might, and assassination from the sniper. This looked like a very scary scenario with Mr. Morale falling down first just like that. I mean, he did expose that Quantum were literally there all of a sudden, and they did force out to use the Requiem of Souls just to take him down. I mean, he is the highest mobility target that you need to worry about, but there were so many things that potentially could have worked out for Quantum, but they didn't, you know, go in for the hard strike, and 4Pirates, they were really patient on when their cooldowns were used up, on when the Chaotic Offering was used up, and it was a huge misplay coming in, as Otacre, he was phased out, and nothing has stricken him, so I think there were a lot of alarms coming in from Quantum. There was a lot of panic, and it was a beautiful situation that 4Pirates were able to use up in their favor, so first bigger team fight, and it's gonna be for 4Pirates. Of course, that's gonna give them the courage to commit for more. Krinjik in a little bit of trouble as Otacre is keeping up the chase, even though he's dancing around and juking beautifully across the projections and everything. Still, he might fall here. Perdanchik right behind him. Shadow Ward healing him up to half of HP. The rest of the crew are not helping him, but he's wasting a lot of beautiful time away from not one but two heroes from 4Pirates, as eventually they will give up the chase. Or at least, or completely lose interest over the Warlock. I mean, he's not that much of a threat. 20 more seconds until he gets the Golem. Quantum are not fighting at all, so... At least there's Razor Blade, so... We are not gonna walk away empty-handed, boss. We got something. Meanwhile, oh, Krinjik, he will be found out once again, this time by Mr. Morale, who will be forced to pop the Rolling Thunder. He is keeping himself held up. It's gonna be short distance. He's gonna reach high ground. Swashbuckler is gonna miss. Oh god! This Warlock is causing so much trouble here. And he will pop the Chaotic Offering as Mr. Morale will try to TP out right in the middle of the base. Jumps out up on low ground. And avoids sudden death. Oh my god. That was a huge overcommitment for the Warlock, who did throw everything. But I think 4Pirates can be happy about it, especially as Mr. Morale, I do assume he survived that. I mean, he's still being chased away. But Dead Inside got taken down on the other side of the map, so at the very least he have the Omni-Knight under control, and now the Pango being the one causing all of the nuances. Razor Blade also caught up mid lane. Ariel pretty much performing a solo takedown, as of course, to many of you who don't know, Wind Ranger used to be a carry and a beautiful mid laner. Now she has resorted down to being a support, but the Focus Fire is still dealing in a lot of damage, so we have that working on still against super squishy supports. Once again, 4Pirates are going to scat out some beautiful stacks here, unless they did them themselves at this point, as they are pretty much controlling that portion of the map.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
No. Lock. Caught up. This time, there's a lot more lockdown to work with, so he's not gonna waste at least 1 minute of running across the map.
Is under attack.
Oh, Verdanchik in danger. Is he gonna force a runaway? Not Natty setting things up. There's the net and the Rolling Thunder. Even though CDC, if he wanted to go for it, he won't have the chance. Natty will take him down, and Lucas will fall right after. Two insanely big targets just being handed into 4Pirates, as they thought they got Verdanchik, but the Naga is always the trap. We saw it in earlier game. I do believe it was it Zero Tenacity who walked into that trap? I do believe so. Yep. They pretty much walked in four heroes into a Naga high ground right in the middle of the dire jungle. She pops up the song, and everybody's pretty much dead and gone in a matter of seconds. So yeah, she's back on course and more annoying than ever, and Dead Inside, well, he's not gonna be dead on the outside, at the very least, even though Ariel, he's still dedicated for keeping up the pressure. This Omni Knight hasn't seen much this game. He has been successful enough to get the Radiance going on, but the path for the Blink Dagger is gonna be a pretty long one from this point of view. Uh-oh, Verdansk might be in danger, but actually he's invis, so even though he walked under a sentry, but he did see the Radiance. Nevertheless, the Chaotic Offering will be dropped down, but everybody's gonna walk away. Otakar jumps back, and Krinjik will be taken down. Another golem being wasted. And without that, I'm not really sure how Quantum can approach the upcoming team fights. They need that huge AoE control, because without it, they don't have that much of a fighting chance. The lasso opportunities have been expended. Again, this is something that I cannot really put my hat onto. I mean, it's a great hero for what it's worth. It's a great, source of protection, but what kind of a value are you getting from him for this game? As we can see, not that much, not that well. Even with the Pango being a very difficult target to stay alive, he is causing enough shenanigans for the rest of the crew to clean things up, so if that's the cost that 4Pirates have to live with, so be it. Because even despite the great control from Quantum, it's not looking like they can find the right angle. High ground defense might be possible with the Shadow Fiend, but even so, you have the Void, who can just jump into behind enemy lines. If Naga gets a Blink Dagger, she can jump in as well with the song and pretty much expose everybody on the spot. And she actually, I do believe she went in for the Blink Dagger. So yeah. The bomb will be planted, it will be set off, so... Unless Quantum find a way to isolate the Naga, but she's never gonna be... I mean, even if she's frontlining, it's a matter of seconds that she can respond to. So far, it's only the Sven that has the BKB, but even if he's the last man standing, there's not much he can do. But let's see, let's not jinx this. It could be now or never, any second now. Ariel gets a catch on to Krishnik once again. The focus fire. Warlock. I mean, they're actually gonna pop the Guardian Angel to keep him protected. Lasso onto the Naga does have the song available, but she will be popped. Okay, a little bit of a something coming in from Quantum. The rest of the crew are still here, and they're a lot stronger than the rest of them. TBC will be bursted into smithereens. Assassination onto Razor Blades. That inside will be locked into the shackles. Mini stun coming in from the assassination. He's locked out of the base, and he will fall right after. Sven completely at the other side of the map. He is gonna claim the first tower for his team, but at what cost? At the cost of being exposed is... I mean, he's not gonna pay for it. The rest of the team already made the prepaid transaction. But still, it's still not shying away from the notion that this is a very difficult game. Almost impossible to bring back. Even Graph, okay, it's impossible yet. Gaben gives them 26%. I might be a little bit too harsh here. But it doesn't seem that nice. Ariel, once again, with the exposure there, Mr. Morale commits for the jump, but Lucas will latch onto him. BKB up, goes through the Song of the Siren, but they will throw the golem once again for nothing. Hello? There was nobody there. There was absolutely nobody there. That was an absolute loss. I mean, they did waste away the song in the field attempt to save the Pango. So those are two big ultimates being scraped off from either side. But oh, hold up, that's a big catch. Natty lassoed up. Gale Force pushes him away, but Lucas still has a lock onto him. Thrown into the air, Natty keeps up with the fight. CDC on the side. Oh, they will finally take the sniper. Oh, that was bad, but still Otakar comes in with a vengeance, takes down Razorblade at the very least as a little bit of a return kill, but that catch was the biggest fish that Quantum have caught all game. And it was insanely unfortunate. Natty was probably waiting for an ambush potential there. But Quantum, they showed up a little bit too soon there, and he was completely surrounded with nowhere to go. Gale Force, it did buy him some time. There was some nice rules there. Helps coming in from Ariel. But not much to go for. Still, seeing problems? Having problems? Yep. BKB, it's not gonna save you versus the Pango here. But still, the haste will. At the very least, Shadow Fiend will walk away from sudden death. But did expend the longest duration of the PvP, pretty much nothing. Meanwhile, Lucas reinitiates. They will commit onto Verdansk. There's still 25 seconds remaining from the song. So at the very least, they can get somewhat of a return kill. Lucas definitely looking super strong here. And 4Pirates, they kind of let him loose a little bit too much. Still, I believe they can get him under control. The past couple of team fights have been a little bit of a couple of awkward situations for them. But is it a comeback potential for Sven? I don't know. The faster 4Pirates are able to take him down, the better their lives will be for sure. As Shadow Fiend, he is growing into a very big pinata who's dealing insane amounts of damage. Finally getting a hold on to the Yasha and Kaya, so a little bit of an extra amp and a little bit of an extra... Well, generally it's an aggressive item rather than the Suns and Yasha, or for the resistances and stuff. But it still feels like a glass cannon hero. If he survives during the BKB and causes a lot of issues during its duration, then yeah, 4Pirates, they can be looking at a little bit more of a non-one-sided game. But if they're able to bait out that BKB duration, they're gone for. Easily. But yeah, both sides will take a chill pill for the time being. Sven going in for a full-blown Daedalus now that the Harpoon has been completed. On the other side, SF going in for the Scepter, which is a pretty big stretch goal, but at least... Oh, there's the Blink Dagger available, so you have that going. But at least you have 4 parts of that, you know, movie, so you can, you know, divide it into easy chunks. But let's see. Roche number 1 time, 29 minutes in. We're 19-7 with 7k net worth still in the favor of 4Pirates. Will Quantum commit for a jump here? Feels like it. They have a smoke up. 4Pirates, they're not taking this Roshan fast enough. So they are now throwing everything that they have, but because it's been too quiet for a little bit too long. Gale Force trying to push targets away. They're throwing everything and shrapnels and everything they could, but they will succeed in taking it for Verdansk, jumping in the middle of things. He will make sure Auditor lives. And Lucas BKB will be expended. Dead Inside jumps into the fray, out into the open with nobody else to help him. Lucas now looking severely dead and he will fall. Scouting offering, lashing onto Netty Narwhal, but where's the rest of the crew? Where's SF? Where's Sven? SF is not into the picture. Sven is dead. Dead Inside is dying on the outside and he's gone alongside with Krishnik. The Golem will be brought back to hell as well, while CDC is actively on the run. And of course picking up a couple of creeps on the go. Still, a nice catch alongside with an unscathed Aegis of the Immortal for 4Pirates. Yeah, it was that risky play coming in for Verdansk, but Auditor, of course the easy thing that you can do is disengage away from the Sven. So they used the Naga Siren as a walking, you know, carrot on a stick to keep the Sven away from the main focus of the team fight, while the rest of the crew, they were stunned away. CGC realizing that, I think he was still on cooldown from that previous team fight. Not really sure why he disengaged from that one. Maybe he wasn't keen on popping the BKB a little bit too soon to take down Verdansk. Even so, Quantum, they have a problem as Auditor is jumping in deep into enemy territory. While Natty and the rest of the crew, they are going in for the first tier 3 tower, Lucas. Scouted out under the shrapnel, he is being pushed away from this tower,
Has fallen.
as it finally will be claimed.
Radiant's bottom tower
Catapults on the high ground, they have vision of what's happening. This is gonna be first set of racks, 3 more minutes remaining onto the Aegis. Seems like so, as Quantum, they're not willing to fight. Actually, they will. They jump in, commit lasso on everything onto Otaker, as finally he will pop. Mr. Morale jumping in a little bit too late. But both BKBs will be used for the occasion. Gale Force pushing Warlock back, he's out of the picture. 40 seconds without him, 40 seconds without the Golem. Lucas reinitiating, jumping once more. Nice duel save from Ariel. Natty jumping in, back and forth. Song, Verdansk buys back. Gets back into the picture. Song of Siren for the reset. They will jump in once again. Natty pulled back with the harpoon, but guess what? That's life number 1. Shackle on the SF. The BKB available for these two. Verdansk will be taken down. Actually, there was no buyback onto him. He was alive already. Still, Lucas will be taken down. No buyback onto the Sven. Dead inside, being chased away. Power shot, and Natty Narwhal's shrapnel will take him down. I thought it was a buyback. Maybe it was a pretty short cooldown. But actually, he didn't fall at all. It was the second time that he fell. Krishnik on a dieback. Not looking good. I mean, he did have the golem available, but now he's gonna be out of the picture for an entire minute. While topside is falling. Oh boy, oh boy. Still trying to figure out what was the general idea behind the Omni-Knight.
Dire's top tower
And I still can't figure it out. Yes, you are pumping your team with healing and with sustain, but that's not your problem with this draft. The problem is keeping things together, keeping, 4 pirates in check. I mean, we haven't seen the scouting out sort of a play meta where you're picking out the position 4 for illusions. Sniper in danger. Okay, this time they're gonna get him for sure. Absolutely no way for Natty to survive that one. Mr. Morale in danger, but he will TP back home. Still, a lot of damage has been done. Even so, what I was saying was, we still haven't seen that Ricky bounty mostly bounty sort of a play, or Monkey Kings evolving within this patch, where you have one pos 4 being taken out of the team fight, just out of the game entirely, pretty much, to scout out what's happening across the map. At the really, if that was the scenario, if there was something happening in that source, maybe Quantum could have worked things out, at least to keep 4 Pirates actively in check, and, at the very least use that as an execution. Now they're just having this seemingly bloated up draft which cannot hold things all together. We are seeing the Omni-Knight slowly picking himself up, but his survivability is not that grand.
tower
Quantum are forced out to use their ultimates a little bit prematurely in a little bit awkward moments. And now the chase was on to Verdansk. Razorblade will be taken up onto the sides. Netted up, dead inside. Otaker wants to commit for the jump. Lucas forced to run away. They won't connect for another hit, so the Blink Dagger will go off. Still Lucas caught up. Ariel pops up the Lotus. Wind Ranger will fall. As backup is coming in from Quantum, Mr. Morale, the Green Ball machine is stuck. Otaker in the backlines will force on to Krishnik. Will pop the Chaotic Offering. The fight is still on. Mr. Morale in an awkward position tries to spark the away. The damage is not going through enough. Okay, now there's a problem for 4 Pirates. Seems like Quantum are a little bit harder to chew than previously.
That went swimmingly.
But they have expanded once again everything. And they are forced onto the run. Oh, but Lucas caught up for Verdansk. A very early of a reveal there. We'll throw the net, but just to be harpooned back into his death, still Otaker will reinitiate once more as the last one will be thrown onto Natty. Will they take anybody here? Nope. 4 Pirates, they're throwing themselves out there with absolutely 0 results. Lucas is still alive, throws his Stormhammer onto Otaker. Will force the last jump away, but is it gonna be enough? Oh my god, it is! The harpoon is not gonna cancel him out.
That may have been
And
a
he will
mistake.
survive, but what an impulsive play coming in from 4 Pirates. They had absolute control throughout the entire game, and now they're just throwing. Come on, guys. It's been a great game so far, but one hiccup like this, and I mean, Sven is still a difficult target to handle, but you cannot solo it. I mean, seemingly an easy target, but he's not soloable. by nobody on 4 Pirates' draft. You need to work at least with 3 people all together to take him down. And so the rest can, hold the door on the side and push targets away from everything. Krinjik, again having issues. It seems like this Warlock has overextended his due date, so he's now gonna fall every single time, with or without the Chaotic Offering. And of course, as he's still on dieback cooldown, it's gonna make his life a lot more difficult, and especially for the rest of the team as well. If they can isolate Lucas or DSF out of this one, it's gonna be one more push for 4 Pirates to take him down. Or maybe they can wait out for Roche number 2 and commit fully. But we shall see. Now the fight is on to 4 Pirates' ground. As once again, they're picking off a bone with this Warlock. Dead inside. He is close by. And I'm not really sure if he's willing to commit. He should just back off. As there's not more... well, not more aid within the vicinity to make things better. Gem is gonna be lost in the process, so that's a little bit of a hard loss for Quantum. But still, there's a lot more to see from this match. That previous strike did prove that Quantum might have a little bit of a better chance now to pull off a win rather than earlier. Gamencraft does not agree with me this time. This time he believes it's 18% a win probability. But the Omni Knight is beginning to do something. The Guardian Angel in that previous fight, it did mitigate all of the incoming damage that 4 Pirates have to deal with. But after that's gone, after the BKBs are gone, they are susceptible. If they survive that, they got a winning chance. But if they don't, and 4 Pirates, they have somewhat lost their cool in these past couple of team fights. They're not playing as patiently as before. The Quantum are making mistakes themselves as well, but still, we'll see which one does better. As we are gonna have a long Roche number 2, so 2.5 minutes. Quantum, they are residing down bottom, trying to push in. Natty's in the vicinity, so that sniper is a pretty juicy target for the takedown. While the rest of 4 Pirates, they are scouting across the other side of the map to see what's cooking. Mr. Morale and the supports, they are keen in for a kill. Not going in for the deep observation. They have de-warded plenty enough. So Quantum have no vision over their own jungle as well. Still, their kill potential as a trio, that deep. I don't think it's one of the brightest ideas in the world. They gotta back off. One catch from Lucas, and all 3 of them can die. Right now, Quantum, they're gonna be sticking as a team. They know they have the power in numbers. But we could be seeing 2 minutes more of farming. No BKBs yet available on 4 Pirates and the rest of the crew. Which is feeling kind of worrisome, but it could be a shift of balance within, the next team fight if they choose to go for them. But nobody is even queuing them. Everybody has gone in full in for the damage and for the extra execution potential. 4 Pirates not finding anything. Now it's Quantum's time to pop in the smoke. They are gonna evacuate onto the other side of the map. As either they were hoping to find something there, or they were completely running away from 4 Pirates. I do believe that they spotted out something happening within the observer ward they have dropped within the lane. But they were not willing to give away the pleasure for a team fight. Still, for 4 Pirates, it's gonna be opportunity number 2 to take Roche, so there's the roar. Now they gotta be fast. Do they know where Quantum are? They know where Lucas is. They're gonna stick around within the lane, within the Roche pit. Well, they're gonna call in on the reinforcements to bring balance onto the lane. Roche number 2, Aegis, given once again to Natty. And we have the Roche banner as well. So time to go in for one last push. Seems like it. 4 Pirates are not hesitating, instantly jumping and lashing on to Krishnik. Once again, stunned up, power shot, and destroyed. He does have buyback, 50 seconds remaining upon his return. Refresher coming in onto SF. So double Requiem, double BKB, double of everything. Could be the last chance he can use it. Ottaker committing a jump onto Lucas. He is trying to pressure the Sven, while the rest of the crew are going in for the tier 4s. They are gonna go all in. Fortifications, banners, everything has been thrown in. Which team will succumb to the pressure? Nice jump there coming in. CTC. Uh-oh! They will stop the Requiem from going through, but Natty will still be in danger. Lead down and destroyed. Life number 1 will be clean. Mr. Morale rolling about. Still CTC wants to lash him unprepared, but the Requiem, oh, it will be popped only onto Mr. Morale. Natty will survive strike number 2. Krishnik, however, will not. Ottaker chases him down. Golem will be popped once again just for his own sake. While the rest of the crew, they're chasing away targets. Lucas is in danger. Ottaker still keeping up the pressure. Sven is dropping low. He's keeping up the pressure onto Ariel, but no, he's not gonna live to see her die. Fight back for stealth. Lucas is coming in for round number 2. Razor Blade looking like he's gonna fall. Answer is yes. No buyback available onto the Batrider, but Pernanchik will fall as one swift jump was enough to take down the Naga. Natty's still alive. Life number 2 still hasn't been claimed. This Roche banner is still standing right in the middle of the base as the tier 4s have been claimed. So you see, jumping once again, they will take down Ariel. Natty is in danger, but Otaka is right behind him, so trying to keep things safe. But Natty, he cannot fight this against everybody, but he's still alive, does pop the Satanic, and actually he will take down CTC. He's gone and out of the picture. Fighting things out versus that inside. Lucas will fall, and GG will be called. Oh god, that Satanic, I completely did not see it. But yeah, it was the winner of this team fight. It seems like 4Pirates, they have what it takes, and once again, they will prove why they have won this tournament twice in 2 seasons. I mean, this was absolutely insane. Quantum, they hold on. I mean, they held on to dear life to the best of their ability, but it seems like they succumbed to their own, well, fears and onto their own scares within that last second portion of the game. I don't know. They were on point for quite some time, but afterwards they were scattering away everywhere. So it seems like the Zero Tenacity draft once again reappearing. It could be a complete miscalculation. They have a couple of more shots to prove it. So we are going to be going on a small break, and we have series number 2, actually map number 2 from this second series to witness. Is it going to be 2-0, or we're going to go into game 3? See you in a bit. And we are back once again, ladies and gentlemen, with game two between Quantum and 4 Pirates. So, a little bit of a strong switcheroo from what we've seen last game, but a couple of familiar faces as well. 4 Pirates, once again, they're going to opt in for the Void Spirit, while Quantum, they're going to first pick the Bat Rider once again. Razorblade was having a pretty decent time with his hero, even though the leading companion that he had to deal with, the Omni Knight, was feeling a little bit iffy. Even throughout the entire game, I mean, eventually he brought in the sustainability of the team that he needed, but when it came down to lockdowns and control, the team was obviously breaking apart. This time, a bit of a stronger support on his side. We're going to be seeing the Rubik entering the play. So, aside from stealing everything you can find across the other map, you do have the telekinesis for some extra control and for some extra annoyance. You do have the Fate Bolt for some additional damage, magic damage to go through, which is going to be definitely helping out the Storm Spirit here, as he's bound to be all over the place annoying. I like the synergy that he has with the Bat Rider, because you do have the long costs and very reliable lasso to work with, but at the same time you do have the Vortex. So a lot of control, a lot of lockdown. I feel a little bit iffy about the Doom, because I generally don't like Dooms. They still feel up to this day like a one-trick pony, but they can really easily change across the match with the Devil's Bargain and everything they have to offer. So last remaining will be the carry for Quantum. I hope it's not going to be another Sven game, even though this time it feels a little bit more potentially better. Because 4 Pirates, they're packing in two very anti-heavy damage dealing heroes. With the Abaddon and the borrow time, you can return back to normal and, of course, pretty much mitigate everything that's coming onto you and relive the team fight and strike in once more. With a Centaur, with the Retaliate, you can throw in a lot of that damage back from where it came from. So, for 4 Pirates, they have quick and easy heroes to work with. They have a big team fight with that extra jump that they can work with. So I do assume, I mean, second pick could be a second support. It could be something else. 4 Pirates, they're gonna take away Lycan, they're gonna take away Darkseer. As it's about this positioning of the Doom that they're not really 100% sure of. I wouldn't put him in the safe lane position. Off lane seems far more likely, and especially whoever you pair him up with from the supports, the off lane could potentially be disgusting in the favor of Quantum. You are going to be having the Scorched Earth to pretty much push everybody, aside with the Fate Bolt. You can amplify it, or you can use the Sticky Napalm and the right click from the Bat Rider to pretty much harass whoever you're going to find. For 4 Pirates, so far, the Jakiro is a solid addition. He can keep things in bay and throw everything he can across, the fighting field. The Rubik is going to be problematic, as he can pretty much easily snatch most of that and turn that into the team's offense, aka the defense, whatever you want to put it. He works both ways. So yeah, he's going to be having a huge target on his back. The Void Spirit will be there to get in close and personal, but we'll see what they have to go in for last. Last pick for Quantum, it is going to be the Deuces, so Doom is, after all, going to be an offlaner. I mean, Lycan is an offlaning option as well. Kind of keep on forgetting that he's no longer. He's never been just the carry. He's even had a little bit of a decent time as a mid laner, but that was long ago. So for 4 Pirates, it's going to be, after all, this Abaddon, who is going to be going in as a support, as it seems. It's not that bad of a choice. I mean, actually, hold that thought. It's gonna be a Centaur going in as a support, as it seems. Okay, it's position 5 Centaur alongside with a Draw Ranger. I like it, not gonna lie. You have a strong front laner which can pretty much counteract anything. The second he closes into a couple of targets, insta hoof stomp, you are throwing back in the damage. It's a lot of frontlining for Otakar to pretty much free farm the rest of the game. I really like the Abaddon being in a little bit more of a core position rather than him stepping back into some support. It's not the worst of decisions that you can make, but you want to do your best and utilize the quickening as much as possible, because it's still the more favorable facet being picked up rather than the Malignant Mist. I mean, 6 seconds of cooldown for everybody dying, of being taken away from your cooldowns for everybody dying, and 0.2 seconds for every single creep. That's still way too powerful. It's been sticking around for quite some time, and it's been throwing Abaddon in a very high spotlight at the beginning of the patch. So, for Quantum, the one thing that I don't like is this Medusa, mostly. I mean, there's not a diffusal wielding hero, but there's a lot of damage that they can throw, and there's a lot of taking damage, there's a lot of slowdown for coming in from both the Drow Ranger and the Abaddon, so Lucas could be looking in for a lot of trouble. CTC looks like a very nice addition, and I like him, as I said, with the Bat Rider. The Rubik is also a nice addition, but there's, again, the Doom that is... I don't know, it feels like a little too hard focus on Abaddon that they can throw in here, but that can waste a lot of Quantum's time. And if they choose to waste him on the centaur, who even though he's going to be playing as a position 5 support, he's still a hefty target that you need to deal with. So by the time Quantum build up the dead damage that they can use this control for later on in the game, it could be difficult for them to pick up the pace. I mean, they can scout out the kills, they can find targets left and right, but how much can they keep up? Of course, they gotta use things smart. If they go in full focus with the Vortex with the lasso onto one big target, they're gonna be wasting resources. Otterker seems like a manageable target. Natty feels like a manageable target, but he definitely is looking in to force out the BKB as soon as possible, because his evasion will be key to the sustain for 4Pirates. Because they've done that in the previous game of the Warlock, but they gotta put in an extra focus onto the Rubik at this point, because Rubik is disgusting. Bad Rider is also a problem to deal with, especially if he finds in the nice setup for the lasso. So early harassment onto the supports is gonna be crucial. Whether or not 4Pirates can do it is the big question. Quantum, they had a really decent opener during that last game, a very nice start that they were able to use up within the early 10 minutes of the game. But I don't want to see them broken after that one. I don't want this match to end a little bit too soon. So they gotta give their A game at this point. Usually when we see teams having, at least statistic history-wise, a huge difference between each other, so the first game could be close enough, but a couple of team fights, things can start breaking apart. But the second games usually tend to be a little bit more one-sided, so... I'm not 100% seeing this draft. I'm not super convinced from Quantum. But they can make it work. They can make some interesting plays here. They are gonna be forcing out the Centaur to pop the Stampede as much as possible prematurely, to try to use it defensively rather than offensively. And with that, keep up the momentum. But 4Pirates, they are quite witty. So if they use up that aggression, they can turn things around in their order. Because they have a lot of siege coming in from the Drow. They can use up Jakiro really easily, and of course, the Void, we saw him in the previous game, he was an absolute annoyance to deal with.
That may have been a mistake.
The battle begins.
But yeah, this time we're gonna be seeing a little bit of a switch. Otterker is gonna be taking the Drow as a carry. Natty's gonna be the one taking the Faceless Void, my bad. The Void Spirit versus his brother, the Storm Spirit, so... Another matchup between the spirits. Nothing has changed between so many patches. I kind of missed out on the Earth Spirit being there. But it's always that one spirit who's gonna be on the suffering end. Usually it's either the Void or the Ember. But still both are... I mean, the Earth Spirit, my bad, got super overpowered at one point. And it was absolutely a disgusting thing to watch, especially during the Tops and Golden days. Even so, the Void Spirit is a little bit more situational, so you gotta know what you're working with. If not, you're just having a high mobility running around target who cannot absolutely do anything. Interestingly enough, in the previous matchups, 4Pirates, they have opted in for Axe every single time. This time, it has not been the case, as they have personally taken out the Shadow Shaman that they usually work things around with, but not this time. Pernatching onto the top side with the Centaur. As we can see, he is really, really annoying already. Meanwhile, mid lane, CDC is making Natty's life a little bit difficult, as that matchup is kind of shaky for the Void. Bottom lane though, Mr. Morel and Ariel, they are trying to keep up versus Krishnik and the Dusa here, but it's kind of difficult for the Abaddon, especially since he's not level 6 just yet. So all of that incoming damage, he will need to soak it up. Natty on the meanwhile, he's holding on to dear life with his bottle, trying to get a couple of return shots onto CTC, but the Static Remnant is doing an... well, the overload from the Static Remnant and stuff like that is doing a lot of damage at this current moment.
That may have been a mistake.
And the Void Spirit is still not that mobile, hasn't gotten the Resonance Pulse just yet. Well, the Stimulate just yet, it's just the Resonant Pulse with the Ether Remnant to keep things in a little bit of a check. But still, you're melee, you need to work around closing in on the creeps. You're gonna be stricken by the overload. So it's gonna be bad. Still, so far, no first blood has been shed. And it's been the leitmotif for the past couple of games, so we're usually seeing the first blood around the Wisdom Rune spawn, Wisdom Shrine spawn at this point, by the way. Still, 4Pirates have relieved the tension down bottom, which does not mean that this lane is eventually going to become easier. It's just that you have to work around with the limited mana pool that Dusa has. Second she's out of mana, she's going to be an easy target to take down. And if that's the case, Jakiro will be able to eventually strike her down. Currently having the Liquid Frost and Fire combination alongside with the Dual Breath, but once there's an additional level onto the Dual Breath and at least one onto the Ice Path, somebody's gonna be burning. But for now is a prio onto the Liquid Frost and Fire, just to utilize that free... well, not only free spell potential that you have, but it's also dealing in a lot of damage onto the Dusa shield. Meanwhile, mid lane, it's looking kind of bad as the runes have spawned. CDC versus Natty, backup is coming in for Razor Blade, and he's hitting, but the Static Vortex will pull him back. Natty will fall as first blood. Ariel looking like he's gonna fall right after, as Krinjik has arrived as well to aid to the cause. 2 kills, once again going into Quantum's direction to open up this match. Meanwhile, top side. Oh. Dead inside. The absence of backup means that Otakar and Perdanchik will take a gloriful chance in giving the first kill for 4Pirates, which is gonna go to the carry. And it's not that nice. I mean, Drow, unlike your other carries that we have seen, and I mean, we have seen Sven 90% of the time, so it doesn't do justice for all of the carries out there. But this hero does not necessarily thrive off AFK farming. She needs to go in for the kills, she needs to go in for the fights. Her slow, her damage are something that the team definitely needs, especially within this draft.
Radiant's turret has been killed.
Bottom side. Mr. Morale is having quite a decent time so far. He had a early, aggression coming in his way, but now he's feeling a little bit better. He's just holding onto the Aphotic Shield, the Curse of the Awareness. Just stay away from his right foot range. Meanwhile, CTC is being paid a visit mid lane as Ariel joins into the fight, tries to run off and hide, and he's not gonna go far. Krinjik, early fire, and this is gonna be a return kill. However, Natty is not gonna fall this time, even though this Bat Rider has closed in really, really well close. That inside, almost falling down here himself. Either way, he will be forced to take the long way back home. And this Doom being kept in check It's a bad sign for Quantum. Not only that you're prolonging the Doom from being used, you're also prolonging the items on Doom himself. So that Midas is gonna be late, other things are gonna be late. However, backup is coming in topside as CTC pays a visit onto Otakar, so a return kill will be made. And yeah, it's absolutely expected of the Storm Spirit to be that annoying. Level 6 comes about and he's just gonna break out everywhere. Meanwhile, bottom side, Lucas's life will be claimed, as the Rubik has been missing for far long enough. And of course, that delicate balance between using for your mana for good or for, you know, defense. It's fallen on to Dusa will die when she's left alone.
Radiant's bottom tower
That
is under
inside,
attack.
still at level 4, Perdanchik going in for the contest. Ooh, a little bit of a distraction there and is gonna keep... Well, Perdanchik is gonna give it up. Actually, they're dancing around the shrine still.
Radiant's top tower is under
But it's gonna be claimed by Dead Side either way. Commendable idea by Perdanchik, but in this situation, you're not...
Radiant.
Well, you're not the offlaner, even though you are disgusting and annoying. Still, you will fall, as Razor Blade was chilling on the other side, waiting for him to show up. 5-3 so far. Okay, we have broken the curse of getting the lead first blood. Now we're getting a lot of bloodshed, as it seems that Otakar is now next in line. TPs are coming in. Actually, they're gonna cancel. They're gonna let Otakar die here. Oh boy. No, actually, they're gonna pop in the Jakiro, but a little bit far too late. Oh god, was that a bad cancel? Seems like it.
Radiant's middle
Or
tower is
Natty
under
had a
attack.
different idea what to do. But still, allowing Otakar to die just like that after a pretty decent start. Not the bestest of ideas. And even though CTC is all about annoying in this game right now, 4Pirates are still close by. Farmways are holding on pretty decently. The Abaddon having a dandy time. Otakar not that well, but it might be a subject to change now as 3 are scouting up top. That inside will fall once more. Drops of experience before getting that doom, so another 20 seconds without it. Razor Blade, his life is on the line. Are they gonna get closer? Dual Breath, Blood Grenade, everything is being thrown into sports. I gotta make sure he goes down to 0.
Is under attack.
But yeah, even though Otakar was not a part of those killings, he is gonna get the tension off of that lane, even though Bad Rider is closing in on a visit, and there's the lasso being popped in. Otakar, he is burning blood grenades, everything thrown in. Otakar is trying his best for a deny. It's not gonna happen.
Tower is under attack.
Oh boy. They're allowing Quantum to walk away with these kills like nothing. It's not good at all. Maybe if they can get a return kill onto Lucas, something might be changing here. But no, instead it's these supports finding triple ancient stacks for the taken. And Lucas will be sad to see this happening right in front of his eyes. Because, yep. I mean, friendly reminder, Verdanchik is a position 5 here. And he's doing his best, but at the same time he cannot outweigh that urge to be a true offlaner who needs a Bling Dagger and a Blade Mail as soon as possible. But so far he doesn't have any big item ambitions. He still hasn't even completed the boots. Not even the brown boots, which is really impressive. He's got the double bracer. That's fine, he's just here for the tanking. Yeah, double takedown onto Otakar. At least he's keeping the Doom in check. At the very least, there is a walking, talking pinata there that they can actively farm off of. But they're taking a lot of hard losses onto the Drow Ranger, which is not good. She cannot compensate and lift her own weight by just AFK farming like a Sven, so... if the team is giving her a weight just like that, they're not gonna be having a good time. And as well, the Dusa she's gonna start hurting. Right now, she is looking in her farming prime. But without those ancient stacks, she will be forced to rely on something a little bit smaller. Meanwhile, CTC, even with his general annoyance, he still hasn't completed one bigger item. Kaya is still in the making. Only the Soul Ring to work with. Oh, the catch. The Batrider, easy peasy. First Stampede off the game. They're gonna miss out with the Gust, but they will reach with the Stomp. Dead inside, pops the Doom, it's gonna be onto the Void. He will make a quick escape back home, but nope, CDC says you're sticking around. Still dead inside, will fall. Void's in danger, will the rest of the crew take him down? Doesn't seem like it, CDC still keeping up the pressure. Perdamchik throwing in the Stomp, Lucas is here to join in as well, and they're gonna make it even. Mr. Morale still left out. Does not have borrowed time, not even an extra point to expend, so he's gotta be on the run. His backup is still closing in from Quantum. They're gonna get a lock onto Aerial. Razor Blade though, he is burning, looking bad. Razor will fall though. Okay, at the very least, they can't account for this. Eventually, they will have the borrowed time, so Abaddon, he's almost back to normal, but they're gonna prolong his cooldown really nicely. And they will force him to stay within the Firefly. Henceforth, Lucas getting both of those kills. Nice avoidance there from CTC away from the Hoof Stomp. The Damchick still sticking around. And of course, he's not that scary, as he's got nothing to retaliate for. Meanwhile, bottom side. Once again, the pressure is on to that inside. A safe lane has migrated down bottom to try to utilize Otakar for maybe some extra push here down bottom. Mid lane CTC almost got taken down there, as 4Pirates had committed for a very nice catch once again, but the damage output is still shying away, so they gotta put in some extra effort in that department. Krinjik Blink Dagger is on the horizon. This Batrider so far has been setting things really nicely for the crew. I mean, the double Otakar takedown definitely goes in a long way for his big items to show up. Dead inside. Well, aka Zenitza. He got taken down 3 times, but the Midas has been completed, so at the very least, there is something. He's going in for a refresher rush, which is an interesting choice to make here. Ice Path, not gonna connect. Mr. Morale, gotta get the hell out of there. But still, we usually see, like, I don't know, something else being prioritized, but not a refresher. Still, it feels like an interesting choice here. You want to lock away 2 targets. Especially, I mean, before they get BKBs or something of that sort. Because Natty is gonna be on your head all the time. Otakar, you want to shut him down at the first given opportunity. The rest, or Abaddon actually. Abaddon is a great hero to shut down, and without them, there's nothing else that can be done. Still, those feel like insanely ambitious plans. So for Quantum, they are still in the lead. But 4Pirates, they are willing to do something more about it. Razor Blades, caught up. Mr. Morale, can he reach him? Slow down, there's the Curse of Avernus in action, but they're just gonna give it away, as they have ventured a little bit too far deep. Safe lane towers are gonna be claimed on both sides. 4Pirates are looking out to even out the result in mid lane, but they are super wary and careful about that decision. As Quantum, they are gonna double down on this defense, as they want to keep up with the fight. Watchers taken, observers drop down, sentries destroyed, smoke popped up, they're willing to close in. Lucas is on the other side of the river, he sees Perdanchik, he sees Natty. They will commit for the jump, the lasso is not gonna connect, but they got a lock onto the center. Still, Ice Path being dropped out with the magnifier. Perdanchik popping to the last breath he has for the Stampede to get the hell out of there, or at least for his crew. as he will fall himself. Jakiro, he threw everything to try to keep things in check, but 4Pirates, they were not fully willing to commit for this one. But they did suffer a big loss. Still, Verdansk is manageable. He doesn't have... Well, he only has the Dormant Curio to work with. He has a triple bracer eyeing out onto the Bling Dagger, so there's... Well, there's no retaliate. Not a single point allocated to it. It's just the double edge all the way to level 4 with the Hoof Stomp. Okay, that explains why he's super squishy, so... Without anything, he's got nothing to turn back for the team. Uh-oh. I mean, eventually he's gonna get it. He can't make something more for it. But now, that explains a lot of questions. Or at least answers them to some point. Bottom side Cling. All tier 1s are down for 4Pirates. Quantum, they have one more remaining top side. Which Verdansk is pushing Otakar into for taking. And they have Aerial within the vicinity as well.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They gotta be careful as Krishnik is jumping in. There's the Bling Dagger in use right after with the Doom. And Otakar, he will be burned to smithereens. Actually, the Doom will be dedicated onto the Centaur as Verdansk will be thrown out of the fight by force. CDC joining in and taking down both. But yeah, this Storm Spirit,
Radiant's middle tower
he's
is
throwing
under
Quantum out there so far, allowing them to find these very, very on-point executions. Otakar hasn't had a chance to do absolutely anything in this game. 4Pirates, they are trying to get some sort of a return kill here, but they're absolutely outnumbered. 4v2. They will throw in the Macropyre once again in vain, but no execution to be found, even though Razorblade was looking severely low there. But they didn't get anything out of it.
Dire's top tower is under
Now, the fight has migrated topside. The CDC now is in danger. Natty Narwhal keeping up the pressure, but he will be forced to run away, as Lucas is close by. And you don't want to mess with the Dusa unless you want to take her down instantly. That's Stone Gaze. You still cannot work against it. So... better do the right thing. Otakar. Don't fall for it, be careful. I know it's a fun matchup, but...
middle tower is under attack.
I mean, for all we know, Quantum are a little bit further away. But they have vision of what's going on. The rest of 4Pirates, they are centered around the enemy top triangle. But they're not crossing the river just yet. Another catch has been made mid lane. Ariel is trying to fend off for himself, but you can't really run away from that one. I'm sorry, dude. The twin-headed dragon has got nothing against the Bat Rider. Slowly but surely, 4Pirates have lost the slight advantage they have obtained across this game. With Medusa being completely left all by her own devices. And of course getting a couple of kills left and right. She has the Manta completed. She is on a nice course for getting the Scotty. And that's a difficulty that you need to deal with.
Is under attack.
And Quantum, they have used up the focus of 4Pirates to the best of their ability. They have taken down bottom side, they have taken down mid lane, top side at one tower each. And they are willing to go in for more here. Even though 4Pirates, they are on course for the same idea, but they might be in for a bad surprise. They cannot throw Verdansk first, they cannot throw Mr. Morale first. You gotta count for your losses. The focus is now onto the Dusa, as they will instantly commit, but they won't connect. Monta popped out, Lucas, he's in danger, does have the Stone Gaze, CDC jumps in into the backlines, but he's greeted with an awkward surprise as well for Verdansk. There's the Stampede, everybody runs away from the Macropyre, the will be popped onto the Abaddon. They're looking to let it go to waste, Verdansk last with backhand taken out. Onaker now in danger, CDC. Okay, now there's the actual stampede being used. That the Doom will be used for a second time now onto Onaker, who will fall alongside with Zenitsa. Ariel in danger, CDC still up for the hunt. Vicky will take him down, but Vishnik will fall right after. CDC pushed back, he's keeping up the pressure, Mr. Morale. The borrowed life has been used up already, and they will take down 4. As yep, there's a refresher being popped up. 4 Pirates, they never know what struck them down. One Doom, it was dedicated onto Otaker. The second one was, actually the first one was onto Abad and he survived it. The second one was onto Otaker and he had nothing to do for it. And even though the Doom died earlier on, his mission was a success. And the Stone Gaze was not used throughout this entire time, even though the Deucer was the first one to be initiated upon. So Quantum, they walk into this one really confidently, and they absolutely earned it. Still, they cannot do this for the next 2 minutes, so they gotta be careful right about now. The Stone Gaze is still available if the Deuce is in danger, so they're working out with their resources really, really nicely. But I'm not really sure if 4 Pirates can do much here. The Drow hasn't really shown anything for herself. The Void Spirit is shying away from the momentum. I mean, CTC onto the Storm Spirit, he's absolutely great. Finding chances at every single moment he can. And the rest of the team being able to utilize it is even better. And right now we're even seeing Batrider in a far better light than the previous game. As every single lasso has led in for an execution. At least so far. 4-man smoke up, 4 Pirates. They are looking for something. But what are they gonna find? Zenitsa, nice tumble toy away back to safety. And he will expose 4 Pirates right in the act. Because they are trying to set things up for Rogue, but a catch will be made. Uh-oh, Natty, he's in danger. They are doing everything to save him, but it doesn't seem like they can mitigate the damage coming in from the Doom. CDC keeping up the pressure. They won't have a Vortex to take away the Jakiro. Now Morale, he's in danger. Verdansk will be able to get away back to safety. But even with the borrowed time, I'm not sure that this Abaddon can do much. Well, it's just gonna be a little bit of a dramatic pause there. But yeah, he's not getting away from that one at all. But yeah, it was a positive kickoff for 4 Pirates, but now it seems absolutely devastating. Quantum, they have ganged up with this draft and they're making things work out a lot better, so the fact that their spirit hasn't been broken means a lot. And with this CDC being absolutely, and he doesn't have the BKB just yet, and he is absolutely annoying to deal with. And of course, it's going to be his next item, which he does have the money for. But, of course, I mean, you're not in a dire situation. Just buy the item, you know, just push in, get the Roche, go into high ground. It could be GG sooner than later. But still, the problem is, you cannot just jump into 4 Pirates at this given point. High ground defense is definitely something that they can work with. But the fact that the Centaur is absolutely deflated, it's really awkward.
Adios, payasos.
But yeah, the difference is a lot more evident. I did say it was a slight difference, seemingly, but re-observing the Deuce's situation and what's been going on a couple of team fights later, it's a little bit more convincing than previously. But yeah, the math is on point. 20 minutes, 10k difference is definitely a one-sided match. And this has been confirmed by Karsta previously. I mean, that math hasn't failed so far. Unless it's been I mean, I don't think it actually has failed. There hasn't been a comeback after that one just yet. But we shall see. Mouse issues are still persisting for Razorblade. Mr. Morale is still just being dramatically held into the air, waiting for the unpause to go through so he can, just die in peace. Yeah. Sad, sad story. And he's dead and gone. Anyway, 24 minutes in. 22 over 10 with 15k net worth. The double refresher. Well, the double doom coming in from the refresher was absolute teamfight changer in the favor for Quantum during that previous teamfight. For 4Pirates, they are actively in an awkward position during every single team fight. They're forcing out everything to keep somebody protected. Natty has been the first one to be taken down, Otaker as well. Mr. Morale, he hasn't really been the shining light for his team as it's just Quantum actively fighting these, well, 1v3, 3v2, 4v5. Well, no, not a 4v5 actually. We haven't seen that big one. But 4v2 situations. We've seen plenty of them. They've brought them, and they've won them every single time. But it seems like the neutral creep is a little bit of a difficult task to take down, but eventually it's gonna be successful. With Krinjik getting that additional sticky napalm, which no longer has a stack limit, so spam away and burn things down into smithereens, which currently is definitely the Bad Rider's forte. Krinjik is having a beautiful game this time, and of course smooth sailing towards the Blink Dagger. Now he's on a good run towards getting that BKB. And 4Pirates still haven't found an answer for it, as now they're even forced to share the farm with Quantum. I guess this is the third or fourth attempt that 4Pirates are trying to do something. And if they walk away empty-handed and suffer a bigger loss than a gain, it's gonna be bad. Say it's about done down? Okay, it's gonna be something. It's a big one. And they will be happy for it. He's gonna be back with the refresher. So, next team fight, they gotta be worrisome. And if they find a way to isolate him and take him down this easily, it could be a good team fight that Perdanchik... Why do I keep on saying Perdanchik? Maybe because the 4 and the P and the 4Pirates and the Perdanchik is just messing up with my brain. But anyhow, 4Pirates, if they isolate the Doom like they just did before a team fight, they could be looking at a win. Because at the very least, they're gonna be fighting with 2 more heroes. Manta's still coming about. 4 staffs are being built. Still no BKB in sight for anybody of 4Pirates. It's just Manta all the way. The Blink Dagger has been completed onto Perdanchik, but still without the retaliated knocker situation. They will latch onto Zenitsa once again, who will attempt to turn around and throw in the Doom. That's a nice takedown either way. Can they get more out of this? As Quantum, they do have the Rubik in the vicinity. They will commit for it. Natty jumping in, taunted up, pulled back, stumped into the ice path, and destroyed. Okay, 2 sweet pickoffs alongside with a tower. It seems like 4Pirates, they finally decided to play this game as a team. Meanwhile, Lucas is getting a solo takedown onto the mid tower, so it's still Quantum in the lead, objective-wise. But they are looking for a kill. Stonegaze finally used up for Danchik jumping in, but Otaker turned around. Still, they will put a stop onto the TP. Krishnik trying to lasso back. No, he's not gonna find anybody. This Dusa is in the middle of things, fighting for her life. For Danchik looking low, still dancing around, throwing in one last hoof stomp before she falls. Finally. This DOTA has been brought into a check. And it's been a third takedown for 4Pirates. So at the very least, they're still keen on playing this game. And Otterker has been present during both of these. But let's see if it's gonna be enough to start building their way back into a comeback. Oh, Razor Blade. Okay, another catch right under their vision. So, okay, 4Pirates, you've been sleeping long enough. And now you have the entire bottom portion of the map opened up. So it's just 2 more towers, 2 tier 2s remaining for them to take down, as opposed to Quantum, who only have the top side still remaining. I mean, it's still there. It's still not a decided one-sided match. And we are closing in onto the 30-minute mark. 22 onto 15. Still in the favor of Quantum with 12k net worth advantage. It was 17k almost a couple of minutes ago. But now it's ever so slightly going in the favor of 4Pirates. BKB onto the Doom up and running. Quantum should seriously assess the upcoming couple of minutes for a big team fight and for a Roche takedown. Because if they allow 4Pirates to slide away with chances like this, it could be a turnaround. Otterker, in the meantime, he's finally packing in some extra damage as the Drow Ranger. Gonna go in for the Shard. Of course, for that extra high ground coming in from the Glacier. But let's see. Quantum, they have finally decided they're gonna go in and make a move.
Radiant are scanning.
Smoked up on their way to where? They might see Natty here. 4Pirates are in the vicinity as well, so either way, they are here for the contest, picking up Otterker on the way. But who's gonna find who first is the big question. They might have spotted out Natty, but he made a safe return back at TP home. Are they gonna re-engage here? A little bit of a pause, now this time coming in from Otterker. Hopefully it's not another wireless mouse needing batteries. I mean, personally, I'm a fan of, you know, keeping things wired, because you're never gonna run out of batteries in the middle of the night. That's always gonna be my peak reasoning for not going wireless. But I guess it's gonna be lags that are gonna be the problem this time. And that's something that Dota is still suffering from. We might have fixed the coordinator issues, we might have fixed up the UI, but now we have a little bit more lags than usual. But hopefully they will be fixed up sooner than later. But yeah, after 2 pauses, what do we have seen in the past 7 or so minutes? The situation has ever so slightly stabilized, with 4Pirates being able to claim a couple of kills and a couple of objectives across the map. We haven't seen a big team fight, but we're about to see something happening within that caliber. As Roche still hasn't been claimed, either side are definitely keen on taking it. But let's see who caves in first. For 4Pirates, the main objective right now is going to be the Doom, especially with the BKB being available. DOTA, if they manage to bait out the Stone Gaze in an awkward situation, they're fine to work with, but since that first team fight, the Stone Gaze being kept as a last resort and not being used up, that means that from that last checkup, Quantum still have the upper hand. But let's see, now in a new scenario, 15 minutes later, what's gonna happen in a 5v5. It's gonna be mostly about the baiting out the Doom and the Gaze. The rest is gonna be a little bit more manageable. And the lasso as well, but that's not gonna be a problem, as Krishnik will be caught up first and will die within the multi-shot barrage of arrows. Even so, he had about 20 seconds onto the lasso, but now without 40 seconds being on the map, 4Pirates, they are gonna commit for Roche number 1. The damage is coming in hot, mostly from Otterker and those Drow crits. Focus closing in. Are they gonna get it before the DOTA base visits here? Aerial sees on the sides what's happening. Smokes are coming about as well. Perdanchik on the chase. Otakar will claim the Aegis and the Roshan. Zenitsa. There will be no actually a Doom going through, but he will fall before deploying the second one. Razor Blade caught up as well. Lucas will be forced on the run. TP out. It's not gonna happen. Right at the edge of that hoop stomp, Ice Path will connect. Lucas running low on mana, and he's gonna run out of life in a matter of seconds. Oh boy. This was bad. In the attempts to siege Roche, Quantum got completely beaten by the presence of Perdanchik, and he got the hell out of there. But it was enough time for Otakar to take down the Roshan and pretty much turn things around. When you're able to pretty much divide the team fight into smaller chewable bites, it's a lot easier for you to handle it, and that's exactly what Quantum gave to 4Pirates. They still have the upper hand in the big team fight, but now Otakar has closed in net worth-wise to the DOTA. So it's a pretty awkward situation, with Aegis available as well.
Radiant's
Things
middle tower is under attack.
are beginning to shift ever so slightly. Well, ever a bit more, I mean, but I don't want to over-exaggerate my sentences. Because sometimes I eat my words very often when I start to glorify some sort of a situation, even though there's nothing to glorify in Dota. A small toss will cause a lot of ripples and change the tide of war. I was trying to sound smart about knowing worthless stuff, but either way, small changes in Dota, they can completely change the course of the game. Sometimes even the most unexpected of situations can turn games from being a total loss into a complete win. And in EPL, there's always different surprises.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
CTC still being annoying. He is gonna take down. Did he take down the bottom tower? Actually, topside has been claimed some time ago. Nevertheless, no more tier 2s available for 4Pirates. While there's one last remaining for Quantum, and they're not sticking around to wait for it to fall. They're gonna venture forth deeper into enemy territory. Smokes will be popped up. Zenitsa will try to commit for a blind jump there, but he's gonna be caught red-handed. Quantum, are they gonna commit even further now with BKB number 3 popping up onto the Batrider? No, it's just gonna be a game of cat and mouse. Trying to expand the duration of the Aegis for about 2 more minutes. Well, 4Pirates onto the catch. They will find Zenitsa heals up into the ice path. He will try to TP out, but he ain't going nowhere. Once again, no Doom, no problem, for yet another minute. They can't push in this last tier 2 tower. Like, come on, my OCD is, you know, it's acting up again. So if you can take it down, it's gonna make my life a little bit easier, and I can call it even. I mean, right now the gap is closing in. There was a 13k advantage, by the way, thank you for taking it down. Now we're down to 5k. So without the Doom, 4Pirates, they want to cause even more damage. Fortification popped up. Otakar still on the siege. 55 seconds remaining from the Aegis timer. They're gonna go all in for the Rex. Lucas on the sidelines. He got pulled back, but he's not willing to commit. One small sidestep, and it's gonna cost him his life. Meanwhile, 4Pirates, they're gonna take down the mid lane Rax with no problem, all within the Doom death timer. And they're gonna get the hell out of there before they see the wrath of the double Doom. I mean, they already saw it once. You don't want to see that again.
Radiant's close.
But yeah, either we're gonna wait out for Roche number 3, or 4Pirates will try to find a way to siege high ground even further.
Radiant are scanning.
Not really sure if that's a viable option, given the fact that everybody's alive and Doom is still there. I mean, we know that he's not there, but he can be there really fast. CTC. The most annoying hero slash player onto the side of Quantum, and he's been keeping things together, but he has lost his momentum for quite a while now. As even, I mean, he hasn't had the opportunity to go in for some long-range catches. The vision from Quantum, yeah, it's pretty deep into enemy territory, but they're not getting there anytime soon, as 4Pirates have crossed. Well, and they have went deep into enemy high ground, so they gotta be wary not to overextend, and they're not gonna find them just by themselves. They will jump in into 5. Lucas keeping up with the push, but he's gotta be careful. I mean, both sides are being super scared here. I just wanna come in here, take the creeps, and get the hell out of there. As both sides, they are waiting for a jump. Well, yeah, we have spent a lot of time in pauses, so it doesn't feel like we have progressed much into this game. It has been 30 minutes, 38 minutes in, 22 on to 20. Still in the favor of Quantum and still sticking on to 6k net worth difference. Outpost has been taken. But it's just Lucas with the Stone Gaze. Oh, he's gonna use it on an illusion. Pirates, they know about this. But are they gonna commit? Yeah, they are gonna cross the river. But do you want to go at it? Quantum are falling back, but not fully. They still have CTC out into the open, but he's just gonna quickly gate to the other side. A little bit of tension, but it's not gonna go a long way. Both outposts are going to be taken by Quantum, thanks to Lucas, who has went in a pretty long journey from point A to point B, while being alive and well. Still, 4Pirates, even though they have walked away from empty-handed without getting any kills, they are still committed towards pushing objectives. Right now, focus is onto bottom side, with Otakar once again popping the glacier. Tier 3 tower is gonna melt, even though fortification is available. They're not gonna commit for it. And it's just gonna be a steady course, not willing to overextend this time. About 3 minutes left remaining onto the Roche timer, so they're gonna wait it out. They're gonna keep Quantum at bay. Maybe scouting a couple of kills left and right, but it doesn't seem like Quantum are gonna give them that opportunity either way. Medusa Blink has been completed. I'm gonna go in for the Swift Blink. I mean, of course, go in for the extra and more agility to work with. Still, it feels like she's starting to fall apart. Still, I believe it's this Doom that is problematic. And 4Pirates, they're playing an insanely risky game by not getting any BKBs or anything of that sort. I mean, I'm always scared because these heroes can easily pop if, you know, left in a very awkward position. The Abaddon has grown into be tankier, so there's the Blade Mail with the Solar Crest available. The Centaur has finally obtained level 4 of Retaliate, so, and the Blade Mail as well, so he can do something. And we have the War Curse available as well, so if things get bad for Otakar, he's gonna have a quick hitch a ride, as it used to be called a long time ago, to work with. So, they have fortified their team synergy. They have a little bit more to work with. It's gonna be enough survivability. Possibly. Healing? They don't have that much healing aside from a couple of lotuses to work with. We are seeing mostly these blink daggers and these scepters being prioritized instead. Either though we are going to be seeing a Crimson Guard eventually being popped up on center. So even though we started off with a pause 5, Centaur Perdanchik is eventually just going to go in standard offlaner form with a little bit of a delay. Roche number 3, we are already... number 2, my bad. We're already queuing up for it. So let's see. Things have brought us into this very moment, ladies and gentlemen. The make it or break it is gonna be 2-0 for 4Pirates. Or are we gonna go in for game 3? And Roche has spawned. 4Pirates already paying him a visit, so realizing the pit is empty, they have the green light to jump, but they don't know where Quantum are headed. But they will want to find them the wrong ways. Zenitza will be caught up first. Once again, no Doom, no problem, no nothing to worry about. Stone Gaze will be popped up. Mr. Morale will die, not even having a chance for borrowed time. Still Lucas out of mana. Otakar will snipe him down. Isolating this Doom every single freaking time. It's giving in a lot of points for 4Pirates, even though they have lost their offlaner in the process. These are a lot more manageable. CCT jumping in, nice AoE Vortex. Oh, he's gonna take down 1. He's gonna take down 2. He's gonna snatch the Aegis, but will die in the process. Okay, he only took down 1. But still, might be with his life for it. Locked up, silenced up. The damage from the Drow is gonna melt him like butter. Commendable jump, but Quantum...
That may have been a mistake.
Oh, they have spent so many resources in that team fight, and now even if they get the Doom back for the defense, they don't have CCT yet, they don't have the Dusa. At least 40 seconds until they can get any of them. Well, not any, but the Dusa. About an entire minute until we get the Storm Spirit back. Which is a hard strike that 4Pirates can deliver here. And they're looking like they're gonna go at it. Drums, everything, they're skipping the creeps, going in onto the tier 4s. You're not seeing any buybacks coming in. Oh boy, Doom, he's back into the picture. But it's gonna be a 3v5. You don't like those odds. Meanwhile, the supports are fighting things up with what is left in the pit. I don't think there was anything, but they're still fighting things off. As all is at stake, 30 seconds remaining, the Deuce is back into the picture. The tier 4s were almost down there. But 4Pirates are going to be forced off with run. By initiating Lucas out into the open, they will jump in. Lasso onto Perdanchik with the Doom and everything. Oh, it seems like they popped in the double this time. Lucas, he will melt through Perdanchik. He will take down Natty. Mr. Morale, he's in danger. No more borrowed time available. And see, this is what happens when you don't take down the Doom. 3 easy kills, therefore the defense is gonna be about, well, more than 2 minutes before they can do that again. But even so, Quantum, they have earned themselves a final strike after death. 650 HP exactly on that tier 4 tower. It was a hard strike, but 4Pirates, they had suffered a severe loss. Without that Aegis, it was a little bit too difficult to keep things up, but they took down a lot of big targets, so they measured up that, issue, that problem. And now they're able to somewhat suffer the consequences for it, so about 30 seconds until they get back together. Quantum, they are throwing the pendulum swing now back at 4Pirates. So let's see how much damage they can deal with. They will go in for the easiest entry, and that's down bottom. But even so, the backdoor protection is there. And they're not gonna get it. So 20 seconds left remaining. Quantum, they haven't found safe passage aside from pushing in that mid lane all the way back to 4Pirates. And this defense they cannot really go against. Otaker. Was that a Lincoln Sphere onto him? Yep, it was. It wasn't expended on a Doom, but it's definitely a great addition to keep Otaker safe and sound. Either from the Doom meter, from the lasso, we're still not seeing a refresher onto the Batrider, as he still doesn't have any big ambitions for it, but a double lasso and a double Doom could be a problem.
Uh-oh. That may have been a
Quiet
mistake.
before the storm. 3 and something more minutes remaining until we know the state of Roche number 3. And 4Pirates, they are recovering from what Quantum had to bring them after that last defense. And now they're all up and ready to go, aside from the refresher, which is gonna be up in 5 seconds. So either way, a fight is imminent. But who's gonna get the first strike? Verdanchik, pretty close to Lucas here. Is he trying to bait?
Dire's bottom tower is under
No,
attack.
I don't think he's aware of anything happening. I mean, right now he did see Lucas walking in under that observer. But it's not the target that they want to have first. Their eyes are fixed on Zenitsa. So, as long as they know where the Doom is, they're gonna make a strike. And yeah, I was gonna say it's all about the damage. But Dusa is now finally 6 full slotted, 6 stacked, whatever you want to call it. She has eaten the blessing, she's got the Daedal, she's got the Swift Blink. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, it's gonna be the Divine Rapier. So Divine Rapier, it always means we're gonna end this game soon enough. If that thing falls, and Drow grabs it, it's gonna be GG for sure. Even though she is almost 6 slotted. Lucas, speaking up, gonna be caught up there, locked into the ice path, actually pushed away with the micropire as well, but he's not gonna stay alive long enough to pop the gaze. And also, Razorblade will fall as well, 90 seconds without the Dusa. And there is gonna be a buyback onto the Rubik, but it's the Dusa that you need to worry about more. As 4Pirates, they are gonna go at it once again. One big hero out of the picture, playing the big gambit. Does she have a buyback or not? Well, that's one, and it's on the Rubik. Are they gonna fight it? They're still sticking around. Not giving in completely. Otakers using the top side. CTC is being baited out, but they're gonna just take down the Lincoln Sphere away from him. 50 seconds, tower has been taken down. Do they want to go for more? They will buy themselves those 40 seconds. But nope, Otaker is determined. CTC jumping in once again. 3-man vortex. It's taking down Jakiro. Aerial will pop. Verdanchik will fall right after, but Cringic will die. Double buyback forced out. The Deuce is still out of the picture. CTC will he commit here once again. As the top Rex have been left alone for a little bit. Otaker committing once again. One more strike was needed, but they're not gonna take down the Rubik. That would have been a big kill. 14 seconds left remaining. The pressure has been used up. We will be popped. It's gonna be on to Natty. Lasso as well, but he's not gonna fall. Krishnik dies yet for another time. The drone has been exposed once again. Nice vortex jumping in. Dead inside Zenitsa will fall. It's a dive back onto the Batrider. Dusa. They are trying to get away with the Stone Gaze. They're chasing, they're running, and now they're gonna turn around and throw everything they have back right after. Glacier popped up, everything. Otaker is hitting from the top. Vortex once again pulling targets back, but no, he's not gonna take down anybody. Lucas will fall. Zenitsa will fall right after. The throne once again after under siege. Everybody from 4Pirates are alive. Last fortification, the last salvation that they have, but is it gonna happen? Is the miracle there? Nope. It was a little bit too much. 4Pirates will take the win after all. However, it was an insanely good game from Quantum Game. well, from Quantum team, but now they're just down to Quantum. But yeah, a lot of things went wrong after that. Let's just call it the second half of the game. You can call it after the magical pause, whatever. But I think at that moment it was when Quantum got a little bit over themselves. Lucas was super powerful. CTC had a lot of control over the game to the best of his ability, but it was only so limited they could have done those maneuvers because eventually Four Pirates got a really easy read of what's happening, of what's cooking, of how they're playing about this game. They got better, they got stronger. Perdanchik got a lot tankier. Mr. Morale also added up to the pressure. A double blade mail, all of the damage being reflected back, and a couple of good patient plays was got what got the best of him. That Roche play was a little bit of a high risk play from both sides. But again, with both losses being accounted for, Four Pirates definitely got the better out of that trade off. And with that, we have locked in the double series for today. So two clean slate, two nulls, and we can lose a couple of games in Dota and hit the bet sheets because it's done for today. Tomorrow, there's three series coming up, a little bit more of Group B action as this was the second to last match. If I'm not actually no, there's going to be two more matches remaining from Group A to watch, but all in due time. Sleep well, have a nice evening, and we'll see you soon again.